Hey, you chickadees, I'm Lee Rooster, and you're in the hen house. And today we've got patch 41, the release notes, the new arc fall for the new lower decks arc. Now, we knew we were getting some below decks officer abilities if you checked out my video and the roadmap, which came out last week. And I guess it makes sense that we're getting the Lower Decks show as an arc series coming in. So you can see them here in the pictures and all that in all their glory. I've checked out the show some, but I'm not up to speed on it a ton. Let me know your thoughts below about the show. So if you were saying, hey, with this duality arc and Worf and kind of introducing Worf and some Deep Space Nine stuff, as well as the Ferengi arc, and bringing in Quark and the other Ferengi, how in the world are they going to put off giving us Deep Space Nine? Your question is answered. They're releasing other stuff. All right, so there was some speculation that this being the Q4 of the fiscal year for businesses, that maybe we'd see Deep Space Nine in there. But with that, and based on the roadmaps, it looks like we're going to get some other stuff, some lower deck stuff. Now, I'm not necessarily saying it's bad, but I'm saying this is how they're going to delay Deep Space Nine. So that answer has been given. So I'm thinking it's a Thanksgiving, Christmas time Deep Space Nine, when people are more likely to maybe spend. Imagine that. Anyway, let's get into it and look at what we've got going on here. I'll move myself over to the screen so that you can see more of the cartoon stuff. Now, I know people are already. Lots of people are upset. Lots of people are happy and excited. So I'm sure it's going to be a bit of a mixed bag. But as far as what we see here, it doesn't look too bad. Let's look at it and check it out. So they're talking about introducing the lower deck arc. We're just going to look through this as well. There's story, which we'll see that it's probably going to be amusing and tongue in cheek, like the show. And I don't think that's a bad thing. It says Lower Decks kicks off with the introduction of the USS Cerritos, California class vessel that specializes in giving support. So it'll be a support ship. We'll see this new mechanic. We get 3 new officers with new and unique below deck abilities. They'll provide powerful benefits only when outside the bridge. Yes, we'll see. So we have the below deck abilities that we've seen in the roadmap. And this is lastly a novel Wednesday event and a new battle pass. New ways to earn. Okay, so I'm intrigued by the Wednesday event. Actually, if you sleuth around right now in the game, you can get a little bit of the idea of what's going on, and we'll do just that. But let's cover this and go in there. So we've got big thing is the new ship, the USS Cerritos. Honestly, I was kind of wondering when we were going to get the Cerritos, and looking at this picture here, there's nothing wrong. That's a fine looking ship. So I'm looking forward to that part of it, and I want to see how that turns out. Let's see. So we're going to get that. We're going to get the new below deck officer abilities. We're going to get a starships research tree, which you'll see it's got stuff moved around. You can look at it now at the time of this recording. 25, a whole bunch of new missions, a whole bunch of, 3 new lower decks officers, and a whole bunch of avatars and new frames from the show and all that. I know if you watch the show a lot, you're probably super jazzed about some of these and all that. And I think mileage is going to vary based on how you feel about the show when it comes to this stuff. But let's dig in. Again, the Cerritos, I think, looks like a fine ship, no matter if you like the show or not. But let me know below in the comments. All right, so it is a California-class ship. It's got a new active ability of support. It says you can target your own ships, other alliance members, and any other player. Okay, so let's see. We'll get into that. Support another ship to give it a temporary increase to base damage. You can gain additional valuable benefits while supported by completed research in the new starship tree. Okay, so you can support other ships. It gives base damage. However, if you work in the Starship's research tree, there's a whole bunch of things you can unlock that increase when you are being supported. Now, if you are the right level, which this is a level 36 and above, you can bring this out as a second ship, perhaps in your G Money dock, since you have an extra dock, and you can support yourself. So that's one thing you can do. You can also support other alliance members, maybe helping them out. Maybe that's how you help them when they're having trouble with completing certain hostile missions or hitting some of those captains, different things like that. Or when they're in some PvP. Or, of course, we can support any other player. So that does sound like we could support other people in an armada. Why we might do that, maybe having to do with alliances, but also support other people, like in a territory capture or territory defense, where you're in there, and of course you can kill people, but you can also support some of the other ships, like supporting a sarcophagus on a capture node to help it maintain points. And that's one thing that could be done. And just people trying to wreak havoc when somebody they like is going up against in territory or PvP or some other thing, trying to go up against somebody else. So mixing with the thing quite a bit. So it'll be very interesting to see how that develops and how it actually gets used. Let me know what you start seeing in the comments. All right, now the new feature is let me just focus here on the Cerritos. It'll be available to build for players level 36 and above. Somebody said in the Alliance chat that are like, yeah, it was supposed to be low levels. I'm like, well, if low levels are 36, then that's it. I guess that's mid level. During the lower decks arc, the ship can be acquired through the offers tab. All right, so that means you can buy the ship. That's what they're saying. They're probably trying to be a little clearer since people have been annoyed about some of the ship sourcing recently. You can find it through the offers tab by buying it, or a partial, and I want to stress, partial unlock through the Elite Battle Pass milestone rewards. So if you do the pay part of the milestones, you will partially be able to get the ship. So that means you won't have the ship, but you will have bought some of the ship. All right. The rest can probably be bought in the store. All right. After the lower decks arc, the Cerritos blueprints will be sourced through offers, meaning you can buy them. And special events. So we'll have some leaderboard events and different things like that. Maybe some milestones. Because again, leaderboards are typically events that are won by people who spend more because they have more resources to spend. Although plenty of you good free-to-play players who grind, save, and plan things out can really upset the works and get some good stuff there. We'll look for my video about the upcoming events coming soon. Anyway. New feature, below deck officers. Lower decks introduces a new kind of officer, the below deck officer. All right, we talked about this in the roadmap. When they're placed below decks, of all things, a new powerful ability will be activated. Below deck officers can also be used as traditional bridge officers and provide an ability. Notice I say they can do something. However, their power is fully unleashed when below deck. We kind of see this as we look at the abilities here. So we have Mariner, Boimler, and Badgie are the first officers that we're going to get in this arc. To be sure, we're going to get some more of these cartoon characters. All right, and they have below deck abilities. Badgie is going to be fully unlocked through this month's free battle pass. So everybody who completes their battle pass for free will be able to get Badgie. So that's good. That's an officer that way. Mariner and Boimler will be available through events. So we're going to have events, probably some meta events like we've had lately. Look for my events video coming soon. All right, unlock these officers. Try out the ability. So there is our epic Mariner. Her below deck ability is, notice there's no captain ability here. There's an officer ability and a below deck. So I think that's where our below deck officers, this is what we're getting with them. All right. So her below deck ability is winging it, and it increases weapon damage by X%. So having that stacked below deck, that could help. All right. Now her officer ability is get it together, is increases attack of all officers by Y%. So again, we've got Borg that do that, and they're not in high demand. It's going to be more of what can I stack below decks to on top of what I've already got on the bridge. All right, to look at. Then we've got the rare officer Boimler, and he'll be rare. It says his below deck ability is the Boimler effect, and it increases mitigation by X%. So, that's interesting. Hostile grinding, PvP, etc., because it's not saying anything about restrictions. So that could help us with some of the grind in many ways. I think that could be a good officer to have below deck. I'd take both of them below deck. Let's see. Now here's and his officer ability is the real action, increased piercing by Y%. So again, I think that we've got officers like that. I think you're going to get these for the below deck abilities if you get them at all. All right, and then Badgie. All right, definitely an homage to this is definitely a cartoon in our game. So Badgie, who will be free to everybody who completes the free battle pass, now available as an uncommon. So he's just a gray. His below deck ability will be, haha, you're going to die. So again, the tongue in cheekness, I don't mind that part, honestly. We will increase piercing. So piercing by X%. So if you have all three of them below deck, that is going to give a lot of extra stuff that other people don't have potentially. So, that could be nice. We'll have to look at what their actual stats are and everything too, especially when it comes to stat stacking below deck. His officer ability is just murder. So, yeah, that's kind of cute, in that death and destruction way. But reduce enemy mitigation by Y%. And now this one is, I think, the most interesting because it's reduce enemy mitigation by Y% does not include armadas. All right, so it's not going to help me with my armada mitigation. It doesn't say that it doesn't affect other players because they're enemies too. It doesn't say hostiles. We're going to really need to test this and see who this applies to. Because if this also applies to reducing the mitigation of PvP opponents, that might make him a lot more popular. But we got to test this out. Come check us out on the Twitch stream and elsewhere as we try to check that stuff out. Links below coming up. Now we got new missions. We got 10 new missions for the lower deck. They're going to go on. I guess Agimus is going to attack the commander station. So we'll see. I expect to chuckle at least a few times during this. Hopefully. Otherwise, I'll be chuckling at this arc. Learn about the new Cerritos and 5 new missions related to the ship, which is cool. We've had that with when other new ships get introduced. Join Rutherford and Tendi on 5 new missions for their. They create a spatial anomaly. Likely officers in the next arc. Join Mariner and Boimler on 5 new missions for an away assignment goes wrong. They find themselves at the mercy of a sentient repair facility. So again, playing up some of the story and the features of that show, if you've seen it. I've only seen so many episodes of it, but it sounds like it's kind of keeping with the thematic theme. Sorry, that's redundant. Battle Pass. Of course, we're getting a new Battle Pass. How else would we spend money? All right, there we are. And we are going to get a whole bunch of avatars. So a bunch. We've got Badgie, Rumdar, Lieutenant Matt, Mariner, Boimler, Cerritos. Lower Decks Riker. I don't know what he looks like in that show. I didn't see that part. Excretus avatar. So I'm sure that'll be amusing. A red shirt Boimler and Ransom Floating Head, Vindicta, Gold Miles O'Brien, and Tom Paris plate avatar. So all this stuff will be a little interesting to look at and see what you fancy or what you don't fancy. And some frames, holodeck, Cerritos, lower deck, Boimler effect frames. So again, these things are pretty popular because usually if I see one that I like, I start wanting to, deck out. They're like rims used to be, so, but you got to get them, I guess, now. Anyway, improvements. All right. They said added the ability to export battle logs on the PC version, so you can export those. So you can hopefully export them into spreadsheets because, that's exactly what the nerds are going to want. Myself included, if we're going to be crunching any of these numbers, it's kind of a pain to look at some of that stuff. So research projects daily go button will now lead you places. Let's see. Players will now be able to see the rarity of rewards from the preview screen. PC version of the game will not minimize when clicking on a second screen, having the game in full screen mode. I already checked, it's not working. So they got work to do on this PC app. If you've been on my stream, you hear my thoughts about that. So, but I'm glad they keep working on it because it's great. They just need to make it better. Graphic options in the PC. Some percentages. The last officer filter and away team will stay the same. Plus, again, bug fixes. Like I said, this game has a lot of bugs, not necessarily more than other Scopely games, actually, and they do pay attention to fixing them. So I always shout out Scopely for continuing to fix the bugs and try to work on the improvement section, which is usually always fixing some of the bugs that were unintended, in my opinion. But it's a lot of bug fixes and improvements, and I hope they keep going that because I'd like my PC app to work reliably from one update to the next. Please, Scopely, help me with my PC app. Please. It's great. Make it work. All right. Anyway, you should try the PC app out. It's so much better than BlueStacks, I will say. All right, so let's go look into the game here about some of the stuff because again, we got the Wednesday event coming, and I was like, "Ooh, that's exciting." Now, they reminded me of how I can get into my research quickly because I have my R&D building in there and I can't get the button. And we're back. All right, we did some updating on here on the PC app because that's different than where I was checking things out. Let's see if this works now. All right, so research, go to the go button, and yes, that one did work because it worked on the tablet. Okay, so they have fixed that part. You can see we have the new starships ability here. All right, now you will also notice things. I saw this and I'm like, am I in the right place? I've got stuff I already did. No, they moved everything that really should be considered a support class, like discovery stuff, and and they have some stuff related to the swarm and everything moved over in here. So specialty ships and I believe there's no Devar in here. But anyway, so this is where I'll find my summoning and some Devore stuff as well as swarm Franklin stuff. So things are moved around. You got to jump around, but that's cool. Okay, here is the section with the amplified weaponry. Like you'll see, one of the things you see there is like, oh, what is that? It's a Culver particle. We're already seeing some Irvinite is one of the particles that you're going to need. Culver particle is get more from the Cerritos refinery. Okay, so we know we're getting the Cerritos refinery or the store. And then, so you're going to need those. It sounds like the Discovery. And then I saw these over here that are lit up, these cybernetic enhancements. Notice we need these Culver particles, but you also need these. I'm like, what are those rare things? Rare Culver particles. Get more by completing the Second Contact Elite Weekly event while owning a Tier 12 Cerritos. So having that, and it looks like, maybe this is part of our Wednesday event. So we're going to be getting these different types of particles as part of what we get. Also, when we look at let's bring up ship. And when we look at a ship and get our officer loadout again from before, we do see that we've got these back here, the below deck stuff. And none of the people I have them yet, but we will see how that works. Anyway, let me know down below what you're thinking. Are you excited? Are you annoyed? Are you somewhere in between? Are there parts that you already know you like and parts that you're not going to like? Let me know down below in the comments. Also, I'll be checking this out after work on the Twitch stream. Usually do that most days after work Pacific time, and then on the weekends starting around server reset Pacific time. Server reset everywhere. It's just I'm on Pacific time, so I'm there with my coffee and tea getting started, as well as on YouTube on Sundays. Anyway, check. I hope you liked the video. Give us a subscribe. We're pushed well over 600, and with your help, we can go further, and we want to hit that 1,000 mark as soon as we can. So thank you for your support. Share with the Alliance. And make sure you hit the notification bell so you can catch when I go live on Sunday mornings on YouTube, as well as when I post my next videos, because there's more videos coming out about this arc as we dig into it. Come say hi on Twitch, and you'll find the links to Twitch in my Discord down below in the description as well. So you take care, and cock-a-doodle-doo.